जी Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My viewers know me well. I am Professor Dr. Muhammad Fiaz Qamar, and today we are interested to have another era, that is UAE and Gulf area, where the falcons, horses, camels, they are on the peak of country, and peak for the veterinarians and for the trainers and for the horse riders. So my young upcoming veterinarians or the students, they would be happy that we have a very renowned personality with us who would be introducing about the UAE and the Gulf in particular, but also somehow Pakistan also. So let me quickly go to my guest. He will introduce himself in brief, and also he will be telling us about the UAE market, falcons, horses, and camels. Over to my guest, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Doc Saab. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor for me to be with you. And my name is Dr. Mudassar, and I graduated from US in 2008. And during my final year internship, I decided to choose for zoo and wildlife medicine. I did my internship at Lahore Zoo, and that's from where my journey with the wildlife started.
Great.
And after completion of my degree, I did volunteership with the Zoo for around 1 year. And then I was offered a job at one of the private wildlife reserves for, a very renowned politician and our, ex-Prime Minister Mia Mohammad Nawaz Sharif.
Good.
I managed his wildlife farm in Ravend for a brief period of around 1 year.
Great.
And after that, I started and I registered for my master's in US in clinical medicine and surgery. During this period, I got in touch with Habara Foundation International Pakistan, which is a non-private, non-profit NGO that is working for the conservation of wildlife in Pakistan. And they had multiple conservation areas which are under their management in Rahim Yar Khan and in Bahalpur. And they're also, responsible to conserve Hobara bustard. It's one of endangered avian species, bustard species that is, resident of Central Asian uh, countries, but during the winters, extreme winters, they migrate to Pakistan and then to Arabian Peninsula. So from HIFP, from Hubara Foundation International Pakistan, when I interacted with them, they offered me an externship
Good.
program, and they sent me to National Avian Research Center in Swehan, where I worked with Hubara bustards. I studied, their physiology, their management, husbandry, their breeding, and then release. And apart from that, I also briefly stayed for my training in Abu Dhabi Falcon Hospital, where I learned about falcons and where, I decided I'm going to work with falcons, you know.
Great. Great.
And later on, after completion for my externship for 6 months, I came back. I joined Hubara Foundation. I was stationed in Rahimiyar Khan. I was there for 3.5 years. And during my tenure, I was managing a very big deer enclosure. It has around 2,000 plus gazelles and other antelopes. And I was also responsible to manage Bahawalpur, a black buck conservation project.
Great.
Apart from that, I was also looking after Hubara, research center in Sallo Valley that is also in Rahim Yar Khan. And during my stay there, we encountered a problem of wobble fly. It's a parasitic infestation that affected the deers, the antelopes, and it caused high morbidity and mortality, especially in the females and the young fawns.
Great.
So it took us around, 3 to 4 months to understand, the life cycle of the wobble fly and how to break the life cycle. And we started treatment. We also started first time in Pakistan, formulated feed to support because of the drought, the drought season in Cholistan Desert. The fodder was not available
Available.
sufficiently.
Yeah.
So we had to, start some supplementation or to offer them a ration that can support them nutritionally, as well as it was a medium to, give them medication because you cannot capture each individual ghazal to treat it. And we tried a couple of techniques, but they didn't work. So ultimately, we had to choose the medication through feed, and we used ivermectin, and we got the feed manufactured from through one of our eminent professors, Dr. Talat Nasir Pasha Saab, who was
Great.
very helpful for us, and he guided us, and he helped us in the production of the formulated feed that was up to the standards and requirements of the fawns and ghazals. And we added, from in the manufacturing, we added ivermectin into
Oh,
it.
great.
Yes. And then it was provided to them for a period of around 7 months. And in the beginning, it was a little bit difficult because, the wild animals, they do not adapt very easily. But because of unavailability of natural fodder, so they were more inclined towards the formulated feed and they started eating. And then, we had a very good result. Apart from that, during my stay there, we also did vaccination camps and parasitic control camps in the nearby areas, especially which was near that conservation area. So because they were one of the major reasons, the outbreak happened because of one of the infected herds of the goat that passed through, along with the conservation area, and
So
this is
that was
how
the root cause.
it was the root cause. Yes, and it took us almost uh, 13 months to control that problem completely, and
Okay.
we eradicated. And then we worked on the reproduction because um, it did severe damage, especially to the population of the deers. And in next couple of years, we managed to have successful breeding without, this issue of warble fly, and we controlled also, stillbirths. We isolated animals. The diagnosed in certain animals which were tested positive for brucellosis. So we isolated them. We checked almost 20 to 25% of the population. We screened against brucella. The healthier ones we retained. All the infected ones we culled them off. And it went very well. And that project is flourishing. And over the years, in 2 years, from 1,500 we reached up to 5,500. And then we did a couple of release programs where we released 500 ghazals in Cholistan Desert. Then we released another 200 in Nerabukti and other different areas.
Very good, very good. Dr. Mudassar, we have some sharing things, like a few things are in common with you. Number one, I belong from Rahim Yar Khan, and I'm the,
Sure,
son of soil for that. So
sure,
if there is something for Rahim Yar Khan or coming from Rahim Yar Khan, it is very close to my heart. And number two, you are a veterinarian from UVAS, and similarly, you are mentioning parasitic diseases. So I'm
sure,
a professor of parasitology. So this is another area, of our common interest. And
sure,
last
sure,
but not the least is what I'm looking for is, this wildlife,
sure,
Hobara, and then falcons, and maybe racing industry, and all these.
sure,
These are very, niche areas where the veterinarians are interested to be trained because there is a future. They are not,
sure,
So I'm interested. Could you quickly brief about the scope of work for these segments? If you could
sure,
briefly suggest to
sure,
our veterinarians and our students.
sure. So to understand, like, all other fields, including livestock farming, poultry farming, medicines, sales, poultry sales, feed sales, pet practice. or teaching or academics or research. Wildlife, it's a dedicated field, and it depends upon the interest and appetite of the student. You know,
Yeah.
so to be in wildlife, the first thing is you need to have that aptitude and patience, because it needs a lot of patience. And we don't have a lot of opportunities, especially in Pakistan, because we have very limited facilities, we have very limited number of zoos, and
Limited
our
resources also.
resources, exactly. And during our course, the studies, we don't have a specialized wildlife subject until unless you reach master and you do the dedicated masters in wildlife conservation or other disciplines. In DVM, in the basic graduate undergraduate program, we don't have that. I think should be included, because this is a very successful field. Similarly, like livestock farming, dairy farming, fattening, poultry farming, other disciplines, wildlife conservation and vets especially, they play a very critical role.
Right.
We as veterinarians are playing a very significant role in the conservation of wild animals or birds or other wildlife species. And to if somebody wants to come or join this field, I would say they have to start with the nearest available zoo.
Great.
You have to go, you have to reach the zoo, you have to request them for internships under the supervision of experienced veterinarians there. And apart from that, you also have to study about the habitat
Habitat.
of the
That is
wild
very
animals.
important. You're
So,
right.
because in wild animals, when we are working with wildlife species, we have to understand their nature, their natural requirements, their habitat,
Their
their
behavior.
behavior, exactly, and then we will move on to medications and husbandry conditions. Usually, especially if we talk about Pakistan, our zoos are, it's Lahore Zoo is one of the oldest zoo in Pakistan, especially in Asia as well. But still, if you look at the enclosures, species-wise, enrichment-wise, there is a lot of effort going on, but still we have not been able to reach,
Yeah.
the standards which are being, drafted by WAZA or South Asian Zoo Associations. And zoos are important for children or for students. It's usually for research purpose or for conservation.
Yeah.
But again, to conserve the species, we need to keep them in, as much as possible nearest to their natural habitat and environment. So they are not stressed, because stress is one of the major cause of issues or immune suppression, which lead to further
Further diseases and
accumulation
all.
of
Yeah.
diseases, exactly.
Yeah.
So to study that, I will just recommend our young graduates who are interested in wildlife or zoo medicine to do internships. Especially now we have Safari Zoo, and by the great initiative of our current government, they have established a state-of-the-art hospital in Lahore Safari Park,
Yeah.
which I think is one of the best places to learn, because recently I came to know it's completely equipped with the most modern technology, including the CT scan, the MRI, endoscopies, and other latest technologies and equipment for the conservation of wild animals. And they have really worked hard on improving, especially, the habitat of the species.
Okay.
And this is one of the reason we have been successfully breeding a lot of, variety of endemic and other African, species that we have in their facility.
Great.
So to start with, again, it's the basic. First of all, you have to understand the nature, the behavior, the habitat. Then with wild animals and birds, unfortunately, they are very good at hiding the diseases.
Yeah.
So with experience, with experience, with very keen observations, you'll be able to see the difference in their behavior, in their eating pattern, feed consumption, their movements, motility, and everything. That gives you an idea if the animal is in complete
Suffering
harmony
from
or
something or not.
yes. And then we start, investigation. If we see there are any issues, accordingly, we start investigating. One of the most basic practices that we do should be done, and we are practicing in everywhere, is, screening.
Screening.
Yeah. So the minimal invasive screening that you can do is again from the fecal analysis. You don't have to capture the animal, you don't have to stress the animal, you just have to collect some of the samples, not one, multiple samples,
Multiple sample.
because sometimes in one sample you may not find anything, but in other sample you may find, some parasitic eggs. Or then, with the help of microscope, we can evaluate the semen and the feces, and we can see, identify if there is any sort of parasitic infections. Apart from that, it also give us a lot of information about the GIT, the digestibility,
Yeah.
okay, the formation of the feces. It gives, if it is loose, it means there is some gastrointestinal issues.
Nutrient
uh,
absorptions, etc.
exactly, yes. So this is the basic non-invasive thing. After that, we proceed further. We see if there is something, we accordingly treat, or if we need to do more investigation, we proceed further. We need to capture the animal. For capturing, there are a couple of techniques in which, BOMA or physical restraining is one of the techniques that is very commonly used. But again, then, some species, they are very aggressive. So we have to opt for chemical immobilization.
Okay.
That's very important and very, critical when you are working in zoos or wildlife conservation setups. You should have a complete knowledge and command on the medicines that are used as sedatives or anesthetics. And in them, you have to segregate species wise also, because there are certain, chemicals that are prohibited to be used in certain species. Like I can give you, for example, etorphine or M99. It's an opioid. It is very commonly used to dart or sedate or anesthetize giraffes, elephants, or other, big antelope species. But it is toxic in felines, especially when you talk about lions and tigers. One drop of etorphine is enough to kill a lion. So we
So
have to be
this
very
knowledge
careful.
must be with the veterinarians.
Yes, a veterinarian should know, especially those who are working in wildlife setups or zoo setups. They should know about the, chemical immobilization, the drugs, their pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, their absorption period, their peak induction time, their withdrawal time. These are all very important information that should be, you know, um, that should be known to the veterinarian or the person who is, approaching. So after that, we collect blood samples. We run, basic CBC. We do biochemistry analysis to see different, organ functions, including LFTs, RFTs, and cardiac enzymes, and all other important, glucose, micromineral, macromineral. We screen, and then based on the findings, we start the treatment plan.
Dr.
But we,
Mudassar, sorry to interrupt you. Actually, you are giving us much details that are very much useful to our upcoming students and veterinarians. Maybe in our coming, podcasts, maybe we will getting more knowledge, scientific knowledge. But today I'm looking for small things.
okay, okay,
Number one, can I request you that Dr. Mudassar, what are the major four, five, six challenges or issues of wildlife in UAE or in Gulf or in Pakistan? What are the major, issues or challenges
okay,
for the birds, animals, as well as for the veterinarians?
right,
So you
right.
cover it in both ways.
Right. So we're talking about for veterinarians moving for job in GCC. First of all, we have to understand their rules and regulations.
Great.
So any veterinarian who plans to move or migrate to GCC, including UAE, Saudi, Qatar, or other, Middle Eastern countries, they have to understand they need to have minimum 3 to 5 years of practical experience post graduation. Okay,
Yeah.
that's one of the, I'm sorry, main
Their requirement.
requirement.
This is their requirement.
Yes, yes, and you have to have verifiable experience.
Great.
All right. Then you have to, once you need to do all your verification of your documents and experience certificates. And then when you come here, it's up to the field. If we talk about wildlife or zoo animals, there are a couple of zoos, wildlife conservation areas where, there are opportunities. So you have to, I'm so sorry.
No
You
problem.
have to apply. You have to, before coming, I would say you have to really work on them. You have to study the system. You have to apply. You have to talk to the veterinarians and ask them about the available options or internships. I'm sorry. So once you have done it, the major challenges, one of the biggest challenge that we face is the dynamics and the environment.
Yeah.
So God has created the world in a balance.
Very true.
This part of the world, especially when we talk about Middle East, is more of a desert. Okay.
Desert.
And the wildlife species that are here belong to the habitat of desert, including gazelles and oryx and other species. One of the biggest issues that we see as a veterinarian working in the field is climatic conditions, temperature. Okay. And over the period of time, urbanization is one of the major issues that is faced globally. With pressure on urbanization and development to meet the human needs, their conservation areas are reducing, which is putting them under pressure, and it's affecting them physically, reproductively, and in general as well.
Doctor, Sahab, may I request that we can pause and you can take water
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, because I'm ready.
uh,
Just allow me, please.
maybe we
Sorry.
can take 5 minutes pause and then we
No,
resume.
I'll just go have a glass of water and I'll come back.
Okay, okay, please have it. Please
Thank
have
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
My viewers, that Dr. Mudassar has a long experience in wildlife and he has been involved in all from starting from Hobara, then now Falcons. So I think that this series, which we are going to start from today, may be helpful for our students as well as the people who are having who are the fond of, or the people who are rearing falcons or who are rearing wildlife species. This series may be helpful to all of them. So I will try, Dr. Mudassar, to be more specifically
Yeah,
this
yeah. I will also cut it short,
yeah.
come more to the focus points.
Yeah, please,
Yes.
please, please. So
So,
let me, I have actually two broader questions which we started. Number one is, what are the major challenges or what are the
right,
major issues and what are the solutions? What are the
right,
possible solutions which being a veterinarian you are taking care? And the last
right.
question maybe to which we will be moving is that there is an advancement in technology and there are
Yes,
many things coming in innovations.
yes,
So what are the future areas where one should look into and how
right,
can you improve this sector? So this
right,
is all. Yeah, please.
right. So, I'm sorry for the interruption. Let's, reconnect again. For Middle East, when we talk about Middle East, there are certain segments. Of course, small animal is one of them. Then Middle East has its own dynamics and its own history, and falconry, horse racing, camel racing, these are one of the most important sports that are practiced in GCC, and they have a very deep, affiliation with their culture and heritage.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially in
And the
GCC,
people, even the youth is also involved in it.
yes, and government is encouraging the youth, to be more involved in, maintaining and keeping their cultural heritage alive.
Yeah,
And specifically talking about falconry, we, as long as we can go back into the history, is a part of, not only Arab culture, but it's part of the South Asian culture. If you see history, if you read history from, prehistoric times, even there are testimonies from before Christ,
yeah.
falconry being practiced, falcons being kept. It's a royal sport, and it's been practiced in different parts of the world, whereas it has a very important role in GCC. And in times where, before the developmental era, before 60s, actually the Arabs, they used to live in groups as Bedouins, so they were scattered throughout the desert, and they had very limited source of protein because of the harsh climatic conditions and unavailability of, and survival, unavailability of the survival of a lot of species. They were relying on falconry. During the season, they used to trap falcons, and then they used to train it, and the falcon they will hunt and bring the food for the family. So the
Wow.
falcons are regarded as important as the part of the family
So is it
of the
even today?
even today. See, it's been used now with the evolution of time and change of practices and change of interest. I'm sorry. Now there is an evolution because of the advancements, because of the facilities, because of the ample availability of food sources. Now it has only become a part of the culture and a sport.
Yes.
It is practiced as a sport. Usually during the winter seasons, falcons are used for hunting. But in last 10 years, there is an increasing trend from hunting to racing.
Racing.
And one of the main reason is the big prize money
Yeah.
that is in. This is also a way to attract, more people to
Masses.
practice the
Yeah.
sport. Yes, and to keep it alive. And different falcons are used, pure bred. There are three main species of birds that are used, including gyr falcons, peregrine falcons, and saker falcons.
Great.
Now, in older times, most of these falcons they were trapped, but now over the period of time, all the falcons that are being brought here in UAE are captive bred birds.
Okay.
Okay, so they are all captive bred in Europe, in Russia, in different parts of the world, including America, Canada, and other different parts of the world. So these captive birds, they are brought in. Usually, the season it starts from August, end of August, and beginning of September. That's when you will see there will be an influx of falcons coming in from Europe or US or other parts of the world. I'm sorry.
Dr. Mudassar,
Well,
actually,
well,
mashallah, you have a flood of knowledge. So I don't want to interrupt. Basically, you have some throat issue today.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe
I'm
you
actually
can.
having flu and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you very much for sparing your precious time. So let me conclude in last 2, 3 minutes, so that we can adjust another podcast maybe
right.
very near future. So you are nowadays working as a consultant to
Yes,
Falcons and all that. So what is the
yes.
scope of this consultancy and how do you do all that? You are in Qatar, you are in UAE, and you are reaching everywhere. So how will you conclude? What is your consultancy and how do you do that?
So what I do is I help, the people who are connected to this field or in this industry or who are involved or interested to open up setups, including the breeding
Okay.
or clinics or hospitals
Okay.
we give them a complete plan as per their requirements.
Great.
And apart from, furnishing or setting up their facility, we because I'm well connected with all the breeders and other, industry that is a part of our scope of work. So we offer them solutions under one roof.
Great.
Instead of, they'll be moving around and contacting 10 different people, we offer them one window solution.
Great.
we
Great.
can we can provide them with the birds, we can provide them with the technical team like breeders, assistants, incubation specialists, semen analysis, equipment. We also help them with setting up hospitals or specialized clinics. We provide them with veterinarians, paraveterinary staff, and we do not only leave it here. We provide them with continuous professional development.
Great, great. So
Yes, so
in one word, if I say through this podcast that if someone is interested in falcons or in wildlife, he should consult with Dr. Mudassar Ahmad Malik. He is offering one window operation, maybe throughout the Gulf, UAE, and even I would say Pakistan also. Maybe
correct.
you have. So that is a
Our
very
young
good.
vets are most welcome, and I would be really happy to offer them. I've trained a lot of young veterinarians, and mashallah, I've been able to, help our Pakistani veterinarians. When I came here, we were only a couple of vets, but mashallah, now we are over 40.
Mashallah, mashallah. So thank you very much, Dr. Mudassar. Family,
Thank you so
we
much, sir.
come to the conclusion that you have produced 40 veterinarians of wildlife, and even there are more people may
Yes,
be interested. If they are interested, there is a scope. So we will continue, and through this podcast with the Animal Wellness Shop, we are joining our hands together, and we are
sure,
together. We will work together. My intention
sure.
is, my area of expertise is that our sector must be digitalized. The people
Yes,
who are living in their houses, they must be having access to the veterinarians through online. And
yes,
maybe this is the easiest way. They need like fodders, they need veterinarians,
yes,
they need
yes.
equipments, they need sensors, vaccine, whatever they need.
Everything,
That must be available at their doorstep. And Animal
sir.
Wellness Shop is a sort of that platform that is going to offer them their one window operation, the solution to all of their problems at their stores.
Perfect.
Of
And I
course,
would,
of course, the solution giving people are the veterinarians. Our
sir,
registered veterinarians, they offer
sir,
the services. It is not the
sir,
us. It is our
sir,
only platform that
sir.
connects you people to the end users. So,
Sir,
any final remarks for today's podcast?
the final remarks are, it's a very great initiative that you have taken to, offer services to the clients or to the farmers or to the people of the industry, and you're offering them a hassle-free. We are living in a digital world, so it's really a much needed, you know, step. And I wish you success. I'm very sure, through your platform, um, you'll be able to help a lot more, people in the industry, not only limited to veterinarians, but the farmers, investors. And through this platform, I want to tell, that there is a huge scope. There is a huge
Great.
scope that is there for our veterinarians. But before we have to understand that we have to fulfill and honor, the requirements for the country that we plan to travel. We should make sure that we are, you know fulfilling all the requirements, so it will make our journey easy,
Yeah.
you know
And
and
also,
we will
we
be
have
able
to
to
abide
contribute.
by the laws and
The laws,
regulations of our
very
country.
important, very important.
Yep.
And I wish you all the best, and would love to be a part of, your platform. In especially we talk about medicines that are used in falconry. I would really request you to put it on your platform, and for services, for any advice or anything will be available anytime through your platform to help, the people and the veterinarians.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will be in contact. And viewers,
Thank you.
we will be bringing similar bright future veterinarians to our platform. Keep looking keep watching, and keep sharing. Thank you very much to all of you. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu
Thank
alaikum
you.
wa rahmatullah
Assalamu
wa
alaikum.
barakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you so much.